People, deluded, I'm back again. Arsenal 3, Valencia 1, Europa League first leg in the semi-finals. We've done our job, 90 minutes, we've scored 3 goals. Yes, they've scored an away goal, but we go into the Mestalla with half a chance. It's going to be a tough game away from home at their place. Their fans are going to be rocking, as they are anyways, more so of the result. They've obviously got an away goal. If we do some nonsense and we concede two, it could be tricky. But we've scored in every away game in the Europa League, excluding, forgive me if I'm wrong, against Barté. So you'd back us to get an away goal ourselves. But that is the one black mark on, otherwise, I wouldn't say a perfect performance, but a good result for us. Going into the game, mathematically, top 4 is there for us if you're very optimistic. It's over in most people's books, but mathematically, there's still a chance. Europa League is the only way to kind of get in Europe, win a trophy, see people like me that haven't seen a European trophy lifted by Arsenal in our lifetime, that sort of thing. At the end of the day, it's been a testing season, but there's silverware on the line. And yeah, man, we know what we need to do. We're going against Valencia. They're 6th. They're in a cup final of their own against Thingy. Obviously against Barcelona. Of them, not yeah, they are in a cup final against Barcelona. They want to win Europa League and advance as much as we do because they're dealing with their own stuff and their own opinions and critiques and stuff as they all are. Going into the game as well, Marcelino completely hoodwinked me personally, people, with his formation changes. Diakabe in midfield, for instance. At times it looked like 3-5 at the back, more so in this when it was 2-1 to us. But it was a weird game, people. It was a weird game because I feel literally the first minute, 2 minutes, literally we started well, but after that it looked like we was still low on confidence and feeling sorry for ourselves considering the recent results. And when Valencia scored, that was coming, people. That set piece was coming. We weren't switched on at set pieces at all, people, throughout the whole game. And if you're Valencia, you probably are encouraged with how we've actually defended and how much you probably take away from this game. I felt for both sides there was a lot of space in midfield. Their counter-attack was personally on all the time. So there's a lot of encouragement, even though they lost this game, to go forward with. But from an Arsenal perspective, set pieces were scaring me, people. We're not picking up men. They're counter-attacking us. I was liking what I was seeing from the boys initially. But literally after the first few minutes, probably from the 5th minute onwards, it's like Valencia started off. They just went up again, man. They were breaking with will. I'd say Gaia, the left back for me was the most dangerous. Soler in midfield was doing his thing. Pereiro, they were causing threats and we were struggling really and truly. It comes from a corner. They obviously score. It's a poor header to concede. People are ball watching. Maitland-Niles, who I actually feel started off very slow, as did our pivot in Guendouzi and Xhaka. I felt they were very sloppy. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Corner comes in, as you know. It's Maitland-Niles, his man. He actually loses his man. I can't remember exactly what happened, but you know, eventually they headed it in. And I do remember, if I can remember correctly, Mustafi, Lacazette, and there is somebody else. Three Arsenal men around one Valencia man, and he gets up first. So you're asking questions of our desire, of our hunger. Personally, I feel we're feeling too sorry for ourselves. Yes, we've lost games. Yes, we've been in poor form. Yes, we haven't kept clean sheets in as much as we like to. But football doesn't care for your feelings. If you want to win leagues and win cups and do certain things, you can't feel sorry for yourselves. And I feel we're feeling sorry for ourselves. I felt the game throughout the whole 90 minutes, there was periods where it went flat for me, in my humble opinion, people. Probably 14 minutes onwards. But you were seeing it, man. Yeah, we were going forward. We had a high line. But you could see that there was a lot of threats from me in Valencia. And I was starting to ask questions of Gooner because I was thinking we need Torreira. They're counter-attacking us because we're sloppy in midfield. Not Ozil. I thought Ozil was quite good. Midfielders and our pivot, our midfielders are losing the ball too easily for me, and I felt we were probably as sloppy as a team to a certain degree. Aubameyang had a great game, but probably the first 10 minutes I felt he weren't really doing his thing, in my opinion. And they were counter-attacking and breaking, and you're possibly thinking they should score more. Gaia or whoever it was should have scored. He literally had a tap-in. Koscielny made a few important blocks, as did Czech throughout the whole game, make some important saves. Genuinely, people, 10, 15 minutes in, we could have been 3-4 goals down, as you lot saw. But it's about taking your chances. Obviously, a bit of brilliance between Lacazette, Ozil and Aubameyang collectively. Ozil starts to move. Funny what you can do when your best players are all starting on the pitch together for a decent period. They link up very well. Obviously, Lacazette eventually finishes it, and it's 1-1, and we're back in it. But technically, for me, we're still behind because one goal basically counts for double if you score away from home. That is essentially the away goals rule. Whether you're like me and you don't agree with it or not. Obviously, if it favours my team, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm going to back it. But it's 1-1 at this point, and you're thinking, can we assert ourselves? Can we play a bit better? I'll give credit to the pivot. I felt certain players that started off a bit slow are starting to wake up. I felt Kolasinac's final ball wasn't quite there other than the third goal towards the end, but he's starting to wake up. Maitland-Niles, for me, he's had a tough opening period. He's waking up. The pivot in Xhaka especially, Guendouzi had a so-so game, but Xhaka especially, stopping being sloppy, and I felt Xhaka's delivery was actually quite good on set pieces and throughout the whole game after the tough opening stages. 2-1, obviously, Xhaka, it's a lovely ball, and Lacazette, it's a header. Keeper should do better. And Neto, he's probably going to be cut up about that in the dressing rooms. If I'm his teammates, I'm getting around him and saying, yeah, you did that clanger, but you made some important blocks. Who cares from an Arsenal perspective? It's 2-1. I felt you couldn't hear Arsenal fans on the TV anyways, and Arsenal fans are normally quite vocal. We know we're not, but we're quite vocal. Quiet. I felt we were flat. 2-1 does, if nothing more, it does to get people going and things like that. I felt Aubameyang and Lacazette especially worked their socks off today for me, people defending and things like that. I really liked what I saw. Felt in the 27th minute, Pereira was lucky not to get a yellow card. I felt Socrates was actually lucky in the first half not to get a yellow as well. Naughty challenge on Diakabe or whatever. I don't know why the ref let it go or whatever, but yeah. And I won't lie, people, I don't think I mentioned it earlier. I forgot to mention it. I tried to, but I forgot. I was thinking, why didn't Torreira start now? Obviously, Torreira's fatigued and he's played a lot, but if he's fit enough for the bench, it's a must-win game. Kind of want to see our combative midfielders start, and you were kind of on edge, really, because it looked like, as much as some midfielders might have other strengths, there's no one trying to put a foot in, and we're a bit slow in terms of making a recovery challenge in certain aspects, if it's not our front men doing their thing. Obviously, it's 2-1. Lacazette should have had an opportunity in the first half to score. Aubameyang, I felt, it was a lovely ball from either Ozil or Xhaka, and he tried to volley it, but he kicks it into the ground, and ironically, he scored a harder finish in the second half. But I'm feeling you got to score that, man. And we're having a couple chances towards the end of the first half that I felt we should have taken advantage of. But going into half-time, obviously we started off poorly. We've turned it around. Because I thought the tie was done, people. Because I was seeing the same things when I thought that we lost in the first 10 minutes against Wolves and against Leicester. But we've turned it around, to be fair. I still think Valencia should have a lot of positives to take away at half-time, because they're getting forward in numbers, they're getting in behind, they're having opportunities, they're getting corners, half chances. There's enough to be encouraged by. We're playing a high line as well. They're 2-1 down. At half-time, that's what I'm thinking. We could have scored a couple more, but initially we could have been 3-4 down, so we're kind of saved by Valencia's poor finishing to not capitalise on our extremely poor start. I felt players have woken up. Xhaka's woken up. Ozil's woken up. Lacazette and Aubameyang have woken up. I have to hail up Koscielny. I felt Koscielny was in the trenches today. Important blocks. The only thing at times I was seeing us when obviously we needed to get a third, but we didn't need to, but as an Arsenal collective, you lot know we needed to. Seeing him go forward a bit, and I was thinking, Koscielny, you're looking hurt, man. Let's be a bit sensible. You're not going to be able to recover, sort of thing. But Koscielny was in the trenches. I got to hail him up today, man, for his performance. For me, Lacazette, Koscielny, best players on the field. Shout out to Ozil and Aubameyang too, because Aubameyang worked his socks off. Second half, obviously, we took more of control of the game. Valencia still had chances, but it clearly looked like they were trying to go back to the Mestalla with 2-1, with an away goal. They obviously, with the fact that they've scored and with our defensive record ourselves, they probably backed themselves to score in front of their home fans and to do it in their regards. We could score too, but it looks like they're not getting us forward in numbers and having as much of a go, in my opinion, in the second half. And that's playing into our hands. Maitland-Niles and Kola are getting forward. Our midfielders are getting forward. Our centre-halves are spending time in the opposition's area and things like that. And we're piling on the pressure. We had many half chances. We'll be here all day talking about the half chances, people, that we could have scored. And to be fair, Valencia had half a couple. And you're wondering, 2-1, it's not the worst of results. But if they score at home at their place and it's 2-2, it complicates things for us. We need that third. You're thinking, on two hands, you lot saw me tweet, I felt there was another twist in this game in terms of a goal. I did feel that we could score again, but also felt like we might concede. Maybe we'd be made to pay, similar to Valencia, for not taking our chances. Lacazette, he tried to give the keeper the eyes for one time and it didn't work. Should have scored that. Neto, their keeper, forgive me if I've mispronounced his name, has made some important saves in the second half. But I'm quite confident in the second half. We're pressing well. I feel there's way too much space for both teams. If I'm both managers, it played into our hands because I felt, like I said, I felt it was a bit flat and the tempo was a bit dead and a bit boring at times in this game, in my opinion. But there was a lot of space for both midfielders. So if I'm Marcelino or Unai Emery, there's a lot they probably got to fix up on. In my opinion, I'd go with the same lineup. I was all 4-5 at the back, 3 centre halves. The one change would probably be for me Guendouzi for Torreira. I felt Guendouzi didn't have his best of games. So we were doing our thing, but bit bewildered to a degree by the subs. I felt, well, not bewildered. I felt Guendouzi did well to stay on the field as long as he did. To be fair, I felt he was a candidate to come off at half time, in my opinion, regardless of the score line. When Mkhitaryan came on, I was thinking, obviously he brought on Monreal for Koscielny, but I was thinking, Emery, what's going on? Koscielny's looking like he's on his last legs. We're not gonna make that sub sort of thing. We might be made to pay for that, but it didn't happen. Obviously, literally in the 90th minute, it's a good ball from Kola, and it's a tight goal to be scoring. But Aubameyang, he deserves that because he's worked his socks off. He obviously scores. It's 3-1. It's a fantastic result of sorts to go into the Mestalla. Personally, a part of me still feels we need to score just to really confirm things at the Mestalla, because it's going to be difficult. Their fans are going to be rocking. The games I have watched in terms of seeing our opponents against Valencia, their fans are rocking. They're going to be at it because it's a Europa League game, because it's a team against an English side, a game against an English team, sorry, and because they're behind now. The least the fans are going to have to do is match the energy levels or give the players energy. So it's going to be difficult, people. Obviously, we've conceded an away goal. There's no way getting around it. But I won't say it was a fantastic performance or a fantastic turnaround, because let's be honest, it wasn't. I felt some individuals were good. All in all, it's a good result. It's as much as we're quick to say the players lack fight, lack character and things, and there might have been fortuitous, whatever the word is, circumstances. For instance, Lacazette's second goal, which he really shouldn't have been scored, poor keeping. But we're quick to say these players ain't got heart, they're not fighting, etc. At the end of the day, they will go down with an away goal, which counts for 2, and they turned it around. So for that, it's a good result. We now look to Brighton. Like I said, top 4 hopes or Champions League qualification via the traditional route via top 4 places is a myth. Mathematically, it's still possible. You're crossing every toe and finger and touching every plank of wood that Chelsea and Spurs in the next 2 games drop points, but Spurs only need to, in my opinion, take a draw from these next 2 games, and they've done it. Whether mathematically backs that or not, Spurs will win one of their last 2 games. Chelsea will do it as well, so it's over for us. So this is it for us. This is the only way we're going to get European football. I don't want to say winning this trophy will be a platform to build upon in terms of bringing in players and a collective improvement in what we're doing as a club, but you never know, it could happen. On this note, though, obviously, first leg, 3-1, they're going to have to come to us of sorts, and possibly we get another goal in the second leg, because they have to press us from the off and try and get these 2 goals, try and get 2 early goals and bring themselves back in the tie. But we've done what we've needed to do. We just look to Brighton. So like I said, people, Arsenal 3, Valencia 1. We go forward to Brighton and we travel to Valencia next week. But in regards to today, we did our job. Good turnaround from the boys. Koscielny and Lacazette in particular, like my guys for the game. Ozil was unlucky not to finish the game, considering he made the most tackles on the field. But it is what it is. People, deluded. Arsenal 3, Valencia 1. I'm out.